Halloween night, 1998. A night filled with laughter, silly costumes, and way too much candy. It was supposed to be just another night of fun. But then, someone found a tape. A tape that nobody, not even the people who starred in it, remembered ever recording. They called it the lost tape. For over 20 years, it was locked away, hidden from the world. A dark secret gathering dust. No one dared to watch it until tonight. Imagine a dusty, forgotten basement. Cobwebs hang like ghostly decorations. This is where we meet Ethan, a young urban explorer filming himself with a handheld camera. He's live streaming his adventure, a thrill seeker looking for a Halloween story. Okay, so this house has been abandoned since, like, the late 90s, he says to his camera, his breath fogging in the cold air. The locals around here say weird stuff happens every Halloween, so let's see if that's true. His flashlight beam cuts through the darkness, dancing across old boxes, broken furniture, and the ghosts of memories left behind. He kicks at a pile of junk and something clatters to the floor. What the hell is this? He murmurs, bending down. He pulls out an old black VHS tape. Scrawled across the label in thick, desperate marker are 5 words. Halloween, 1998, do not watch. The warning is stark, almost a plea. But what's even more chilling? No one knows who wrote those words. But the handwriting, it belonged to someone who had been gone for a very, very long time. We cut to Ethan's apartment. The city lights twinkle outside his window, a stark contrast to the shadowy mystery now sitting in his living room. He's managed to dig up an old TV and a VCR, relics from another era. With a click and a whir, the ancient machine swallows the tape. The screen flickers to life, awash in static before the image resolves. It's home video footage. Grainy, a bit blurry, but unmistakably a Halloween party from the 90s. 3 friends are laughing, dancing, cups in hand. The decorations are cheap, the costumes are cheesy. It's a perfect slice of nostalgia. Looks like a normal party, Ethan says from behind the camera, a little disappointed. But then it happens. The camera on the tape jerks violently. A blood-curdling scream rips through the party music, but it's from somewhere off-screen. The footage distorts, the colors bleeding into a sickening, pulsating red. At first, it just seems like a glitch, a common flaw in old magnetic tape, until you look closer. Until you see the faces begin to change. On screen, one of the friends' smiles freezes, stretched into an unnatural, painful grin. Their eyes, once full of life, flicker upward, becoming 2 black, empty voids. The joyful laughter slows, deepening into a guttural, horrifying growl. "What the hell?" Ethan whispers, his voice trembling. And just as the horror peaks, the screen explodes into a burst of static, then cuts to black. When researchers, yes, researchers, later analyzed a copy of this tape, they discovered something that defied all logic. Something impossible. 1 full minute of the footage was missing. Just gone. Replaced by 60 seconds of absolute, deafening silence. Back in his apartment, Ethan is frantically rewinding and pausing, trying to make sense of what he saw. He watches the time counter on the VCR. It clicks along normally. 41, 4101, and then it jumps, straight from 4102 to 4203. An entire minute vanished. It jumped, he says, confused. There's something cut out. He has to see it again. He plays the section back, watching intently. And for a single, fleeting frame, a blink and you'll miss it moment. A woman appears. She's not in the party footage. She's standing in his apartment, right behind him, visible only in the reflection of the dark TV screen. But Ethan, his eyes glued to the party on the tape, doesn't see her. Some people who've studied this phenomenon believe that missing minute wasn't erased. It was taken. The air in Ethan's apartment grows cold. The playful mood of his earlier exploration is long gone, replaced by a thick, suffocating dread. He starts hearing noises, a floorboard creaking in the hallway, a faint whisper that seems to come from right behind him. He spins around, but there's nothing there. With a loud clunk, the VCR ejects the tape. He shoves it back in. No, 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 stay in. He pleads with the machine. It ejects again and again. Then the TV turns on by itself. The same party footage plays, but it's different now. The people are still dancing, their faces still frozen in those terrifying masks. But now, Ethan is there. He's inside the party scene on the tape, standing awkwardly among the ghostly figures. The more he watched the tape, the more the tape recorded. Not the past, but his present. His own camera, still recording on the coffee table, begins to shake. We glimpse his face, twisted in a silent scream. The TV screen flickers, and now he's one of them. He's dancing, his face blank, his eyes as black and empty as the others. Cut to weeks later. We're no longer in Ethan's apartment. We're watching police footage, the kind you see on the late-night news. An official-sounding reporter speaks in a voiceover. Authorities were called to an apartment in the city center after neighbors reported the occupant, Ethan Clark, had not been seen for weeks. He is now officially listed as a missing person. All that was recovered from the scene was a single camcorder and a VHS tape. A gloved hand from a police officer reaches down and ejects the tape from the VCR. It's the same one. The label still reads, Halloween 1998, do not watch. But now, underneath the old, faded marker, a new message is scrawled in frantic, terrified handwriting. It's Ethan's. It seems that every Halloween, someone new finds the tape, and every time they do, the ending changes. A new person is added to the recording. The screen dissolves into a sea of hissing static. Slowly, an image begins to fight its way through the noise. It's grainy, dark, but you can make out a shape. You can make out a room. Your room. And in the reflection on the dark screen, you can see yourself watching this video. A voice, barely a whisper, slithers into your ear. Now that you've watched it, it's recording you. A long, heavy silence hangs in the air, broken only by the final chilling click of the tape ending. As the screen fades to black, one last, faint whisper echoes from the darkness. Do not watch it again. Thanks for joining me on this terrifying journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more like it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Stay safe out there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready to dim the lights and get cozy, because today we're diving into a story that's perfect for this time of year. It's the tale of a lost tape, a recording made on a Halloween night long ago that has puzzled and intrigued people for years. What was on it? Why did it disappear? And what does it reveal about that one spooky evening? Let's find out together. Our story begins in the fall of 1988 in a small, quiet town called Harmony Creek. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and Halloween was the biggest event of the year. The entire town would transform, with streets lined with pumpkins and every house competing for the most creative decorations. The heart of the celebration was the annual Halloween festival held in the town square, complete with a costume contest, apple bobbing, and a haunted hayride through the old woods. That year, a group of high school friends, Leo, Maya, Sarah, and Ben, decided to do something different. They were all part of the school's audiovisual club, and Leo, the leader of the group, had just gotten his hands on a brand new, top-of-the-line video camera. It was a bulky thing by today's standards, but back then it was cutting-edge technology. Their plan was simple: document the entire Halloween night, from the festival to their own ghost-hunting adventure at the legendary Blackwood Manor on the edge of town. They wanted to capture the genuine spirit of Halloween, the excitement, the fun, and maybe, just maybe, something a little bit spooky. They called their project the Halloween Chronicle. They had one tape, one night, and a whole lot of ambition. They started filming as the sun began to set, the golden hour casting long, eerie shadows across the town. The first part of the tape is pure, joyous chaos. You can see the friends laughing, their faces illuminated by the flashing lights of the festival. There's footage of Ben almost winning the apple bobbing contest, Maya showing off her incredible witch costume, and Sarah interviewing trick-or-treaters asking them about their favorite candy. Leo is mostly behind the camera, his voice a constant, enthusiastic narration. He's directing his friends, telling them where to stand, what to do. He was determined to make a mini masterpiece. They captured the essence of a perfect small-town Halloween. The footage shows the mayor, dressed as a vampire, judging the costume contest. You can hear the delighted screams of kids on the hayride and the cheerful chatter of families sharing cider and donuts. It's a nostalgic time capsule, a window into a simpler, happy time. For about 45 minutes, the tape is nothing but pure, wholesome fun. But as the night grew darker and the festival began to wind down, the friends decided it was time for the second part of their plan. Their destination was the old Blackwood Manor. The mansion had been abandoned for decades, standing on a hill overlooking Harmony Creek. Local legend said it was haunted by the spirit of its original owner, a reclusive inventor who vanished without a trace. It was the classic spooky house, the kind of place every kid in town dared each other to visit. For Leo and his friends, it was the perfect setting for the climax of their film. The footage changes as they leave the bright lights of the festival behind. The camera, now held a little less steadily, follows them as they walk up the winding path to the manor. You can hear the crunch of leaves under their feet and the nervous laughter that has replaced their earlier confidence. The only light comes from the camera's built-in lamp and the flashlights they carried, cutting sharp beams through the darkness. The mood has shifted completely. They reach the front porch, the wood groaning under their weight. The front door is slightly ajar. After a moment of hesitation, they push it open and step inside. The camera pans across a grand, decaying foyer. Dust motes dance in the flashlight beams, and cobwebs hang like shredded curtains from the ceiling. Everything is covered in a thick layer of dust, perfectly preserved as if time had stopped. For the next 20 minutes, the tape documents their exploration. They move from room to room, their whispers echoing in the vast, silent house. They explore the dusty library with books still on the shelves and the grand ballroom, where a huge chandelier hangs precariously from the ceiling. They're clearly a little scared, but also thrilled by the adventure. They're trying to be brave, making jokes to cut the tension, but you can feel their anxiety growing. Then, things start to get strange. The first odd occurrence is a sound. While they're in the upstairs hallway, a faint melodic tune can be heard. It sounds like a music box. They all freeze, shining their flashlights down the dark corridor. Ben whispers, "Did you guys hear that?" They follow the sound to a child's bedroom. In the center of the room, sitting on a small dusty table, is a small ornate music box. The lid is closed and the music has stopped. They cautiously approach it. Leo zooms in with the camera. Sarah reaches out a hesitant hand to touch it, but pulls back. They try to reason it away. Maybe it was the wind or a draft. But the air in the house is completely still. A bit shaken, they decide to continue their exploration, trying to brush it off as their imagination's playing tricks on them. A few minutes later, in what appears to be the master bedroom, they find a diary lying open on a vanity. The camera focuses on the page. The handwriting is elegant, and the date at the top of the page is October 31st, 1888, exactly 100 years to the day. The entry speaks of a grand experiment and a new way to see the world. As Maya reads the words aloud, a door in the room, which they had checked and confirmed was locked, slowly creaks open by itself. This time, there's no denying it. That wasn't the wind. Panic begins to set in. You can hear their breathing quicken. Ben wants to leave, but Leo, ever the filmmaker, insists they have to keep recording. This is exactly the kind of thing he wanted to capture. He believes they're on the verge of documenting something incredible. They press on, heading towards the basement, which the diary mentioned was the location of the inventor's workshop. The stairs are steep and stone-walled. The atmosphere is heavier down here, colder. The basement is a maze of old furniture covered in white sheets, looking like a graveyard of forgotten objects. As they navigate through the maze, the camera suddenly glitches. The image flickers and a loud burst of static fills the audio. When the picture returns a second later, something is different. A tall, shadowy figure is briefly visible standing at the far end of the basement, partially obscured by a hanging sheet. It's there for only a fraction of a second before it seems to step back into the darkness. The friends all scream. The camera drops, and the footage becomes a chaotic blur of the floor and running feet. You can hear them shouting, panicking, trying to find their way out. Then, the tape cuts to black. That's it. The recording ends abruptly. For years, this was the end of the story. The friends, terrified, never spoke of what happened that night. They hid the tape away, wanting to forget the entire experience. The legend of the Lost Halloween Tape grew in Harmony Creek, a ghost story told around campfires. No one had ever seen the footage, but a few years ago, Leo, now a documentary filmmaker, decided to revisit his past. He found the old tape in a box in his parents' attic. He converted it to a digital format, and for the first time in decades, he watched it again. He saw the happy moments at the festival, the creeping dread at the manor, and the final terrifying moments in the basement. He decided the story needed an ending. He went back to Harmony Creek and got permission to professionally investigate the Blackwood Manor, this time with a full crew and modern equipment. They discovered that the old house had a unique architecture that created strange drafts and acoustic anomalies. The music box was likely a result of temperature changes causing its metal components to contract, producing a faint sound. The slamming door was a pressure differential between the rooms. And the shadowy figure? After careful analysis of the original tape, they discovered it wasn't a ghost. It was a prank. It turns out, an older sibling of one of their high school rivals had heard about their plan to visit the manor and decided to play a trick on them. He had snuck in earlier and was hiding in the basement, waiting for them. The camera glitch and static were caused by the walkie-talkie he was using to coordinate with a friend outside. The mystery of the lost tape was solved. It wasn't a recording of the supernatural, but a recording of something just as powerful. The magic of friendship, the thrill of a Halloween adventure, and the way our imaginations can run wild in the dark. It's a reminder that sometimes the most memorable stories are the ones we create ourselves, with our friends, on one unforgettable night. So, what do you think? It's a pretty amazing story, isn't it? A perfect blend of spooky fun and a heartwarming resolution. Thanks so much for joining me on this little journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tales and mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.